Alright, lads, so it's finally time for us to showcase the brand new characters in Guild Quest. First up, we have the brand new 1000-year Bloodwood Jushiro, who currently right now, to no one's surprise, is going to be the best leader for the ranged ARRNCAR Guild Quest. And then on Thursday, when Phase 2 begins, we can try out Renji. Keep in mind though that this version of Nightmare Guild Quest is harder than usual. So one thing you are going to see in particular is burn plus pulls. So if you aren't using characters like Jushiro, you are going to need to give your characters in some way, shape, or form 200% status immunity. So if, for example, you are using Zombie Bambietta, first up, my condolences. It's like, she's terrible. And she's gonna look even worse now given the final boss is technique. That's why Jushiro being a ranged ARRNCAR killer is kind of a big deal, because I know many people, even though I have a max transcended, are just tired of using Bambietta. She was kind of a mid character on release that just was lucky enough to be a ranged ARRNCAR killer. So she had value, but nowadays with Jushiro existing, no longer. But if you are using Bambietta, what you're going to have to do is use Maid Orihime in your team to give yourself that 200% immunity. And that goes for Aizen and also Robert if you are using them, if you don't want them to be burnt. Just throw in Maid Orihime, and we might do that in the video. Try out Bambietta alongside Robert and also Orihime, see how far we can potentially go. But we are here more so to showcase the brand new Jushiro. So when it comes to how to best build Jushiro, especially when this Guild Quest phase comes back and maybe it's not enhanced, where it just has normal stat values. Since Jushiro is a power character, he has the benefit here of having two really good support units that make him better. So in this case, the reason why we are using Mishiro is to offer 40% more damage to any enemy that is inflicted with a status element. That in itself is really good. Then you go ahead and throw in Nanao on the team. Nanao is a team booster, so she's providing a 43% attack and focus increase, while also being a ranged ARRNCAR, she will do some damage. But in addition to that, she also does offer 20% more strong attack damage to power attribute Soul Reapers. And because it is specifically Soul Reaper, power Soul Reaper, it does mean that it stacks with Mugetsu. So with this team, we're getting 40% strong attack damage and 40% more element damage. Now, when it comes to the build, I'm keeping it really simple. This is by far no means the best build that you can do, because I know you want to kind of increase his focus stat, but again, we're just keeping it simple, going in and out, see how he does perform. So we'll go with these 3 accessories. If you are wondering why we aren't using a 5-star plus badge, since the character already has so much Berserker built in, it's better we focus on upgrading other parts of the character. So I'm going with this, for example. As a power unit, he has access to some really good soul traits, in this case Ryukin and also Shinji in particular. Really good recharge, more damage at full stamina. My Jushiro is 2 out of 5, so level 13 SP and also focus, with full stamina damage and also damage to paralyzed enemies as bonus abilities. And then for our other 2 characters, again, it doesn't really matter how they are built. Just make sure one of them has the Mugetsu soul trait. So let's see how it goes. So we do see our first iteration of the burn plus status and pulls. They look kind of cool. Again, it's a weird thing, but I kind of like the appearance of all the status and plus pulls, right? Again, Jushiro is fully immune. And what we're going to see, at least at 2 out of 5, seems like the character can pretty much one-shot. We'll use our EX, use our SA1. Good damage there. I think Nanao actually finished up. Let's use our 1 into the 2. Unfortunately, not quite enough to 2-shot the enemy there, and someone is left alive. Okay. I could have used my strong attack 3, but I did want to save that for the final boss. Then we go in SA3 into the SA2, and we take him down super easy, super fast. As expected of Jushiro, again, a 90-day difference, what you are going to see this character versus Bambietta. And then the best part here, even though it's not a great example because we didn't do it, we can paralyze the enemies and just keep them in place, which is really good. Where is the boss? They spawned up on the left. Hello? Oh, damn. They are all over the place. I need to make sure I know where the enemies are spawning. That's kind of different. They usually spawn on the top right. But this time, they're all over the place now. We unfortunately lost some damage here by taking a hit. But Nanao's still alive. So we'll at the very least be able to keep that boost active. Let's use our 1. Then go into the 2. We might actually not beat this, funny enough, because I took damage. I was not ready for where the bosses were spawning in. But maybe we can still beat it. I mean, it would be cool if we can. Goes to show how good Jushiro is, even though we, ruined the run by taking a hit here. We very well might do it. Come on. SA3 into the 1. Got the SP boost, and then finish up with the 2. So first attempt, it went decent. Not the best run by any means. We took a hit. I was not ready for the extra stages. So we got our 41 second for our first attempt. All right, here we go. Next attempt. So again, we're going to start off using our 1. I think I want to use my 1 then 3. Because the SA1's really good. And we've seen the strong attack 1 a lot. Because it has a lot of hits to it. And it's really good for just inflicting status. I mean, so it's no surprise this strong attack has become Not a must-have, but a really good one nonetheless, right? So again, I think just starting off with the 1 and then using a strong attack is the best thing to do here. And then by the time the next wave starts, our SA1 is back and ready to go. So this was all about a tad bit faster, 45 seconds. I think our goal today is to try and get 50, but I might have to change my accessories and build. Potentially go with more focus, potentially go with like a full stam link instead of just full recharge. But we shouldn't struggle here much. Yeah, the boss is up on the left. Let me use my 1 again. Then 2, really good damage here. Jump away from Sun. There we go, nice and easy. Enemies are paralyzed. Remember, if you really want to, you don't have to double buff Jushiro. It's worth doing it if your Jushiro is well built and you know you can get fast. Otherwise, just stick to Robert. Robert's a really good Nat character. Unfortunately, because now Jushiro is a SP Soul Reaper, you know, at least the one good thing about Bambietta is that you did want to buffer with Gremmy, and then because Robert was a, you know, Quincy character, both of them were getting buffed by Gremmy. So if you are using Jushiro and then Robert as your main normal attack damage character to help you through extra level 1 and 4, maybe do that little bit of damage that allows you to clear the first 5 waves faster. Unfortunately, you can't boost both of them. You have to focus on buffing one. In this case, you would likely want to buff Jushiro. So yeah, I definitely like the game plan of going in, using your SA1, then using the 3. So again, SA1 into the 3. 2-shot that boss, lovely. SA1 into the 2. 2-shot that boss, lovely. And then we go EX, Soul Bomb, SA1. Let the EX do the damage. There we go. And in this case, am I better off using my 2? So we need a tiny bit more damage to take down that second boss with 2 strong attacks, but we almost can do it. And then this boss, given that they are a technique enemy, we can kill them in 2. So like super easy. Was that even faster? Let's find out. It was 56 seconds. Let's make sure we don't take any damage there. Again, I'm never ready for those extra levels. Always thinking I have like full strong attack recharge, but I do not. Let's use our 2. Really good damage on the 2. Let's SA3. Again, make sure she spawns down here. I mean, I'm fine with them changing up the placements, but it is a bit off-putting right at the start, you know. You don't know where they're going to spawn in. So really good playtime here. Going to wait for the boss to be unparalyzed. So no point. Now we can do it. There we go. And then finish up with the 2. So onwards to our next attempt. Again, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to try the same pattern again. SA1 into 2. Maybe we'll use the 2 first instead. SA1 into 3. Does feel like EX into Soul Bomb is the right play here on wave 4. Use my normal attacks. There we go. Maybe if we can kill faster, the Vortex can kind of continue into the 4th wave. Maybe I would kind of want to do that, to be honest. We might have to change that for our next game plan. But in this case, 2 strong attacks is enough to take down, again, the final boss. All right, here we go. Next attempt. SA1 into the 2. Fortunately, we actually did get everyone there. I kind of thought maybe someone would get left out. In this case, let's Soul Bomb, then SA1, then EX. I mean, that's kind of slowing us down here, to be fair. Maybe I should have done it sooner, but again, the hope here is that we can actually kind of get extra damage. Not quite, and we actually lost our SP boost. So I feel like I do need to use my EX, then Soul Bomb straight away. All right, here we go. SA1, into the 3. Lovely. SA1, into the 2. Lovely. One enemy got left alive. Oh, we actually 2-shot that. Okay. Surprisingly. 48 seconds. So there you go. You can actually get close to 50 with this character. We had like 1 leftover mob. I'm surprised it actually worked there. I mean, that was kind of the plan. Basically 2 strong attacks per wave. We just got to make sure we don't take any damage now. So I'm pretty happy with that score. If anything, what we might do now is try a Bambietta team. But I will admit, it's not going to be good. It's really not. And my Bambietta is also max rank setting. But I do want to see how the team will perform regardless, you know. Okay, but keep in mind, Bambietta right now, this is probably like the worst Guild Quest phase if you do not have Jushiro. Because other Guild Quest phases have access to good characters. You know, for example, Melee Stamritter was fine if you had Loto and also Mask. And Mask was available on the 1st anniversary banner. Ranged Human, of course, was fine if you didn't have Ichigo because Tenjiro, who again was on the anniversary banner, and also Byakuya exists. But when it comes to a ranged ARRNCAR, and that's why we wanted a ranged ARRNCAR killer during the anniversary, is that Bambietta just sucks. You know, she was designed for Guild Quest, but they kind of fumbled it. Do I have a team set up for her? I do. So this would be, I guess, the team you would want to use, technically. So we can try it, but like her damage output is so low. It's so low. Even at max transcendence, it's not going to be that high. So this is on focus. Let me change that, I guess. We're changing to build to these three. And then we're going to put Robert on the team. He is honestly going to be our main normal attack damage character. Our main DPS even, because you know Bambietta isn't going to be that. Especially when it comes to the extra levels. So we're going with this particular build. Give him as much normal attack damage, if possible, full stamina too. Because he already does have a lot of normal attack damage built in. In his case, he is level 10 attack, level 10 focus. With Bambietta, I also actually, because I keep forgetting these do exist, in all honesty. We have the Rukia EX skill, which does give her a 25% SP boost, while also being, you know, a 14% recharge. That's going to be really good. And then the third character is Orihime. She's there to give us the immunity because we are going to need it. And hopefully she can actually walk into the status ultimate pause. Because remember, the way this skill does work, fortunately it was buffed in time for these new guild quest phases. But the way it does work is that Orihime needs to be in the middle. Or she needs to get inflicted by herself. So damage output's not too bad. Remember, we are max transcended, right? So 1-5 is going to look a bit different. We do have the immunity though. We're just going to sit far back. Hopefully let Orihime just be in the brunt of it all, you know. Let's go here, SA3. It feels weird seeing Bambietta with an SP boost, I will be honest. Robert's going to finish up. There we go. In this case, like, do I even want to use my Sobom? When do I want to use the Sobom? Because maybe we're going to need it for the extra levels. We're not clearing super fast here. Okay, decent. And then lastly, this is the technique boss. This is where it gets all over the place. This is max transcended, by the way. Again, Bambietta not living up to... There was no expectation with this character. It's like even when she released it, it was like, yo, she kind of bad. And then, damn, 17 seconds remaining with this team is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. It's not good. So we have our Sobom. Unfortunately, too, we might see it here. Hopefully not. I guess we can keep him down here. Just let Robert do all the damage. Bring him down. We have the last ray. At least, again, Robert does really good damage here. Like, there is potential here when we get into the last couple phases. Unfortunately, we took damage here. I kind of want to try that again, because I feel like if we save, like, 15 seconds, we might be fine when it comes to the extra stages. But I guess if you have a max transcendent Robert, you should be fine. And even though it is nice, Bambietta can stop the enemies from inflicting or damaging us because she has lacerate, it still sucks a little bit. Because, like, the lacerate does, like, make the enemies walk around a lot. So, again, we're just going to sit back. Fortunately, again, the status pools are, like, right at the top. So we can easily, like, just avoid them. In a way, you can maybe go without having Orihime in the team, truth be told. Because you can just stand in the middle here and then bring all the characters down. I mean, actually, we took some burn damage, so... Not entirely. You gotta pay attention to that. But if anything, maybe you do want to bring Grammy. If you need the extra damage with this team, maybe it is worth bringing Grammy and not my teammate. Assuming you want to, you know, actually keep the enemies down here out of space, so none of your characters get inflicted with burn. All right, here we go. Let's try it again. So I guess in the middle with the SA3 probably the best thing to do. We use our 2. At this point, there's no point saving strong attacks. Normally, you kind of want to. It's best we just make sure we use as much strong attacks as possible. SA2, lovely. I'm going to try and get in the middle. SA3. Into the 1. Back all the way down. Fortunately, now we have the immunity. SA2. Maybe I could have saved the SA2 there. I didn't need to do that, but it's fine. I think this run's going a bit better. That's 3. 1 upwards. There we go. Robert, come through, lads. Let's use our 2. There we go. Robert actually has dodge too. That's kind of nice. SA1. All the enemies kind of lined up there. That was perfect for us. That's SA3, 2, or 2 there, okay. It's a bit faster. It's a bit faster, but I don't think this is looking too good. I think if we maybe had a max transcended Robert, that's probably more important than a max transcended Bambi, truth be told. Because he's doing a lot of damage here. That's the first one. Where's this boss? Up there at the top, okay. Lost my SP boost, unfortunately. Which, again, it feels weird saying that for Bambi. Yeah, unfortunately, took damage too, man. The lacerate war from Orihime only now just used our SA2. So I think with this, you're probably just better off using your Sobom here and hope Robert comes through. Yeah, this one's a tough one. This, again, like I said, probably going to be the toughest GQ phase just because the current options are bad. At least last phase, we had Little Toe, Ichigo, Mask, who had attribute advantage against the final boss too. We had Byakuya for the ranged human guild quests. Right now, of course, you are going to notice if you haven't already done it, is if you don't have Jushiro, your best character is one of the worst GQ leads of all time, who also doesn't have attribute advantage. They have disadvantage against the final boss. So if you are using Jushiro, good for you. If you're using Bambietta, oh, it's bad. And now my Jushiro team's lost. No. I don't want. I'm tired of using Bambi. I'm tired of using Bambi. But I need me that Bambietta detox. So here we go. Let's do one more Jushiro run. I'm happy and sad at the same time that we are kind of done with Bambietta. Because again, I just didn't like using her, even when she was max transcended. And the only reason I even max transcended her was because I got lucky and pulled her 4 times during my 25 steps. But it was also because she was, you know, not the greatest that I wanted to get that final duplicate into her. That way she could at least have some good performance. You know, with Jusha, right? Like I said, I would like to max transcend this character, but I don't need to. 2-5 is good enough. 2-5 is really good enough. I mean, I guess in this case, a max transcended one, given the HP's been buffed, does make a little bit of a difference, but I'm honestly fine with the character 2 out of 5. Bambietta, though, the difference between a 2 out of 5 and a max transcended one, there is a big difference. Maybe now not so much, and we took damage already. The run's almost over. We're going to let it play out, though. Unfortunately, we have no healers in our team, so that might be a dead run. So even with Jushiro, even though we can non-stop paralyze, be careful where you're standing. Be careful where you're standing. It's kind of funny, too, because it was normally the freeze pulls that are kind of hide the enemies. I remember, like, before Starsman Plus, the freeze pulls can be quite blinding. Never really thought about that with the burn pulls, but it is kind of hard to see where the enemies are. But then again, I have all my stats turned on in terms of graphics, so, like, I can actually see the enemy's attacks or our allies' attacks. Normally, you kind of want to turn that off just to make it so it's a bit more easier to see where you are. So in this case, we do get into the final boss. Again, we can clear with ease, but unfortunately, I took some damage. But with that said, that's basically the showcase today, using Jushiro in the ranged ARRNCAR guild quest. Again, that right now is the best part about the unit, and it's no surprise we got a ranged ARRNCAR because Bambietta is just not that great in guild quests. Especially right now when you do buff the stats. I think Bambietta would have been fine if the final boss wasn't technique. So not just the trash on Bambietta all video, but I feel like, you know, the technique final boss does hurt her a lot. If the final boss was speed or power, I feel like we would have been fine using Bambietta. But again, that goes to show why Jushiro is a needed character. Because he can single-handedly carry you through any ranged ARRNCAR guild quest now or in the future. From what I'm seeing with this character, you know, compared to Rukia and also Ichigo, the Part 1 anniversary units, they can get higher scores easier too, but they also have a lot more going for them. Whereas we'll find out next week, I think Renji should easily be able to outscore Jushiro, but it might be harder to get the higher score, if that makes sense, due to the character's kit, Renji's kit in particular. Jushiro might not be able to get the highest of highs. It's definitely up there though. If he can't do it, most characters can't, but he is going to be able to do that consistently because his strong attack kit is very straightforward. I mean, you saw our run there. All we had to do was use our strong attack 1, then use our strong attack 2. Next wave, strong attack 1, then use strong attack 3. So it's super easy for him to get a really good score. He just won't be able to, you know, outscore characters like Renji, Rukia, and also Ichigo. But at the end of the day, that's fine. They're in different guild quest phases. They're not really competing against each other. Right now, Jushiro is competing against Bambietta, and Jushiro, of course, is better than Bambietta. Let me know what characters and teams used in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.